Breaking news on the Eliza Blue situation. Candace Owens has now joined the efforts. Candace tweeted out about 45 minutes ago, the Eliza Blue story is really interesting, absolutely absurd. She thinks she can sue people to cover her tracks. I am definitely going to look further into this and report on it. I mentioned Blair White's video as a good introduction. And here's why I want to talk about this again today. This guy, Mark, I don't know him, but I was like triggered by his comment. Oh, it's more podcast drama. And that is unfortunately what this has kind of devolved into for some people. Um, kind of just infighting, which it never should have come to that. It really should. I think we lost focus in the whole thing. And that's what kind of inspired my tweet this morning. Um, not that I'm here to just like refer to my own tweets all morning. Hold on, I want to keep up Candace's um, Twitter account, but I'm gonna read my own tweet because this is how I feel. I'm fired up this morning. I'm like I have renewed vigor about this topic, but for a different reason. So I said, "What is it?" And then I've noticed in some of the comments on Twitter, people go, "Oh, you're obsessing. You're obsessing, Chrissy. You're still obsessing about the story. Oh, I'm sick of hearing about it." And that's all of our faults. We all got distracted. I said, "What's the difference between obsessing versus covering a story for 3 weeks because questions remain? It's been 21 days and we still don't have a straight answer." You know what? I am going to show my screen because you guys at home are going to follow along. Okay. This is what I tweeted. I said, because I'm responding to like a few people saying in a row saying I'm obsessing. I'm like, what is the difference between obsessing versus covering a story for 3 weeks because questions remain? It's been 21 days and we still don't have a straight answer for why Brittany Venti was censored for tweeting about a public music video because legal reasons is not good enough. And we have lost sight of this. This is the key issue. This is a censorship story primarily. This is why people should care because of censorship, not because of, infighting between your favorite news person or influencer or YouTuber. It's because of this. I don't know if you guys read the most recent installment of Shane Cashman's article. I think I read it with what's her face the other day? Haley Kennington. That was literally yesterday. I'm like, the other day. It was fucking not even 24 hours ago. And in the second installment, Shane, I just feel like it's very flowery. Do we really need a deep dive into her life? Like, do you really need to go to her parents' farm in Illinois to get answers to relatively simple questions? And the relatively simple question that we still haven't received an answer for is why did she get Brittany Venti censored for tweeting about a public music video? And I believe Eliza's response was like, well, it's not public anymore. Well, what the fuck? It was public at the time. Why did you at the time censor her for a public video? She just says legal reasons, and that's not good enough. It's really not good enough. Eliza then confirms that she's not going to sue anybody at World Star Hip Hop. She's not accusing anybody at World Star of trafficking her. She clarifies everyone at the shoot was on the level. She's not saying anybody at the shoot is trafficking her. So if this is the case and World Star Hip Hop, she said, "Oh, I don't think World Star knew about me being trafficked. I don't think they knew." Then why are you if they're not involved in this at all, why are you taking down this music video 6 years later and only when you're asked about it? Let's say she was horribly abused and, Shane Cashman kind of details that in his second installment. Like, it was a lot about her getting on drugs and fucking around, and her parents couldn't recognize her, and it was a lot of back and forth to and from LA, a lot of trauma brain. I don't really know what that means, but if we're using the term trauma brain to explain like months and years of bad decisions, then yeah, maybe I'll just start saying trauma brain. Yeah, it was my trauma brain. That's why I personally lost my virginity to a roadie from Rusted Root. Oh, yeah, it was a I stayed with my ex too long because of trauma brain. And that's what it's doing. It's kind of delegitimizing these terms and the language that real survivors use to explain their experience. And I just maintain that Eliza is totally grifting off of that. Sure, something bad clearly happened to her. She went to the hospital, she almost OD'd on meth or did OD on meth. Um, the article also clarified a couple things for me. Like, I don't know if anybody else felt this way from reading it. It's like, what kind of a mother or father, like, what kind of a parent allows their 17-year-old to just, like, up and move to LA? I don't know. Unless you had a very specific job or you were cast for a very specific show or project, that's one thing, but just to be like, "Oh, yeah, go find yourself." I think it's a little young for that. Maybe that's my own judgies, because 'cause I'm somebody who always had a regular 9 to 5 day job while also pursuing my dreams, and you know what? Maybe I am judging it because luckily was born in Long Island. I could commute to New York City. Um, Lived at home for a couple of years before moving out, so whatever. I guess that's we're just getting distracted. Like, do we really need her whole backstory? To me, it's pretty obvious that she's lying about ages and dates of things, but we're getting away from the censorship aspect of this. I don't think it was, I think whether you like or dislike Tim Pool, I think it's fair to say everybody respects what he's built with his show and that he mostly does very good work and, is a good journalist. Like, whether you like him or not, we all have to respect that he's crushing it, built this huge show. And I think he got roped in a little bit unfairly, but I think it came from a good place. I think fans and viewers were going, "Okay, Chrissy's covering it, Ann is covering it, Quartering is covering it." Um, a few others are covering this issue, and I think they were honestly looking to Tim to be like, "Tim, you're a much bigger platform. You have more clout, like, you have more resources, like, help us cover this, like, help us find the truth." And I think that got construed into, like, a lot of talking shit about him and his show, and, like, I saw the videos that came out of Eliza hanging out with, what was it? Ian and Adam after her first appearance, like, again, like, I don't what consenting adults do is up to them. I can understand how people, can look at those videos and be like, "Oh, this looks really bad," like, they're all fucking around. I don't care as much about that. I really care about the cover up and the censorship. But I think Tim Pool got kind of unfairly roped in because people were just looking for help and looking for like, "Hey, like, you just had her on. You had her on a month ago when this all kicked off. Like, please help us find the truth." And I think people started to get angry because he wasn't covering it. He waited 2 weeks to cover it and then, I guess, has been giving his viewers mixed signals, to say the least. But all of this has and then we got distracted with the infighting for, a week, and we've lost sight of and that's why I bring this up. It's been a little bit of a distraction from the important issue, which is the censorship aspect, and that is why someone like and I don't know who this Mark guy is, but this is why this guy Mark, an investment banker, he'll just say, "Oh, it's podcast drama." We've all now kind of attributed or we've all I don't know, we've all helped to make this just look like podcast drama because we're getting away from the important part. And I responded with, "It's about censorship, grifting, and potential fraud. But yes, it's much easier to dismiss if you think of it as podcast drama." And this is my concern is that we have now made this issue much easier to dismiss because people can go, "Oh, it's just podcasts fighting." Ugh, when it's so not about that. So again, like, don't give people shit for not covering this article either this issue either at all or in the way you would like to see it covered. Honestly, just focus on the people who want to cover it. Whatever reason that Tim has for not covering it or covering it a certain way, I'm sure he has his reasons. But it is exciting to see Candace be interested, whether you like her or not. She is asking a very important question here, and that is, why does she think she can sue people to cover her tracks? Which is what it comes down to. So, wow. All right. And while we're on the topic, sure, let's check in with Eliza. Let's see. Do I still have her Twitter up? I'm blocked, so I have to go incognito mode. She's blocked me. Somebody else mentioned like, "Oh, did any of these YouTubers bother to reach out to Eliza before talking about her for 2 plus weeks?" Yeah, I did. I tried reaching out to her. I got no response. I got an immediate block. All right, let's see what our favorite human trafficking survivor is tweeting about today. All right. She is clearly boosting this Shane Cashman article. Maybe I'll ask him sometime because I truly don't know the answer. I don't have any control over him or Timcast, obviously, despite the rumors. So again, she's the master of spin. She's a spin master. She is looking to make this story about anything other than her and her censoring of Venti over a public music video. So she is happy to make this about Timcast or Shane or literally anything else at this point. And again, nobody's reading this, give it a rest. Some people I can understand are turned off by this because they're just like, we're sick of hearing about this girl. And to their credit, I mean, nothing's really been happening. It feels like we are kind of at a standstill. Okay. What else has she been saying? I do semi wonder. She semi wonders, guys. I do semi wonder what specific moment led Shane Cashman to write that. Again, Eliza is looking for any empathy she possibly can at this point. She is looking to lean into this victim mentality, this victim status any way she can. So, of course, she's going to focus on the paragraph in Shane's article where she looks like a victim. And that part of the article was, "We have encountered a gang of leeches here." I guess this is the group that I'm part of. Leech gang. We've encountered yeah, isn't it sad that people who want the truth are called a gang of leeches? We've encountered a gang of leeches here that suck at the skin of a machine they can't comprehend the full scope of because they are so lost in their own narcissism. Again, any YouTuber can be accused of narcissism. Like, we're literally our dumb fucking faces are on camera. But how can we research this story and search for the truth? Like, okay, okay, would this be less narcissistic if I stopped my camera? Does this help, guys? Do I seem less like a narcissist now? Do you want to just look at Frosk? They're so lost in their own narcissism, or even worse, they are conscious of a symbiosis between them and the destruction orgy, carrying torches and pitchforks and masquerading through the internet, our perpetual trauma machine. Again, it's not about canceling Eliza. It is just about getting questions answered. We simply want questions answered that have to do around censorship and now around potentially suing any of us who talked about her after a certain date or mentioned the music video or showed a picture of the music video or played the music video after a certain date. But this is so dramatic. Nobody wants her to be done. Nobody wants her to, stop living. Nobody wants her, you know what I mean? Like, we just want the fucking truth, man. Why is that so hard to comprehend? Our perpetual trauma machine. These people are digital cannibals. I need a shirt that says digital cannibal. Digital cannibals. Like there's something wrong with all of us for wanting answers to reasonable questions. Like, we're now being shamed for asking questions, and we're also being shamed for not letting it go, because that's where people go, "You're obsessing, you can't let it go, you're a digital cannibal." It's like, yeah, we're upset. It's been 3 fucking weeks, and basic aspects have not been clarified. It's like, how do you feel how do you think the people who knew the truth about Hunter Biden's laptop felt? I mean, that was pushed off, what, at least a year, 2 years? And now people are talking about it? Yeah, we can let a story go for 3 weeks, okay, and still care about it. But I think the people that, obviously, it's if we dismiss it, then the pressure's off and nobody has to answer any hard questions. So It's easier to just say that we're all obsessing and we're all losers in our basements who can't let it go. They care more about their names getting lumped into stories the same way tumors grow in a body. They worship fame. This is, like, pretty disgusting. Like, this paragraph exists all of us, like, exists for all of us to feel shame, and you're calling us narcissists and that we care about fame? Hello? Look at Eliza's whole fucking adult life. Yeah, we care about fame. Okay, not everybody can have a fucking YouTube channel and talk about issues. Most people work jobs. So, I mean, Brittany was saying this last night, like it's kind of our job as people who are have time to be on the internet more to read through this stuff and to speak on behalf of other people. I read my chat, the good and the bad. I look at the questions that people have. And if there's enough people asking a lot of the same question, like I feel like it's my job to voice that on behalf of people who watch my fucking show. So to say that this is just about my own quest for fame or Jeremy or Brittany's own quest for fame is pretty shitty, especially when there are very legitimate questions being asked of Eliza right now. But no, we're tumors. And so Eliza's being like, "I wonder what led Shane to write that." Again, she's like, "Please, the more pity and empathy, the better. Please, I want to maintain my victim status so desperately." It has me thinking that perhaps I've been settling for a less interesting life than I deserve. What the fuck is this about? Out of all those things, I'd still only want love. Cars and tech companies come and go. Love is more beautiful. I want you to have true love as well, by the way. Again, she's taking this holier than thou, more spiritual than thou, above it all tone because she wants us all, if you can deduce and dismiss the bullshit about Eliza Blue as simply just like drama and chaos and something only small-minded people focus on and I'm up here, I'm not focusing on that. I'm the bigger person talking about standing in love and wanting to find true love. Bullshit. You just want us to move on because you've been asked uncomfortable questions. I'm so annoyed. I'm so like annoyed. Have you ever been diagnosed as bipolar? Says Zorian. What is true love? Oh, wise woman. Yes, yes, so wise. Now is the time for wisdom, for sure, Eliza. If only you could go back and do it all over again without being apparently a glutton for fame. What about Brittany Venti? Or do you think your enemies don't deserve happiness? Yeah, she definitely doesn't want to answer about any questions about Brittany Venti. The fan fiction that folks had in their head of me controlling multiple corporate tech companies, having a secret love life, and getting a free car was so much more interesting than me going to my $15.50 an hour job while driving my dad's farm truck because my own car is broken down. Again, she's trying to create this image that her parents don't have money, that her parents haven't floated her for years, that she is not currently living with her parents. Like, that's okay. You have no control over like who your parents are, but she's really trying to make it look like she's struggled and she's exaggerating. Like she takes the most exaggerated claim, exaggerates it further, and then makes it about that. And that's how she takes it away from the actual reality. Instead of keeping the focus on you have had some sway in Ella Irwin, the trust and safety head. Like you have a relationship with her and people are asking questions about your effect on her. Instead of making it about that, she's going to mention, "Oh, it's about me controlling multiple corporate tech companies." No, bitch, let's stay focused. Okay, people have specific questions about your relationship with Ella Irwin. And possibly also Elon, because Elon said himself in that Twitter space that you had a direct line to him on this issue, meaning the issue of child sex trafficking. So it's already been established she has a direct line to him. And people are asking questions about that, which is fair. But instead, Eliza is going to make it about the most ridiculous rumor. And Shane a little bit did this too, made it about the most ridiculous rumor out there instead of staying focused. having a secret love life and getting a free car was so much more interesting than what, my 15 and $50 dollar an hour job. It's not about that. Like, she could have worked this job and still, again, like for Eliza, it's some of it is about the grifting, like paying for her pandemic vacation and her travel expenses to go to Freedom Fest and her locals and just people who send her money for whatever reason. But for Eliza, it is about social clout. It is about her access to kind of celebrities of the conservative new right podcasting world. That is currency for her. Her reputation, her clout, her celebrity access mean probably more to her than money. Ugh, she's really just making it about she is distracting any which way she can. Part 3 is coming soon of Shane's article, okay. Guys, a side note, I'm anarchist and cap. So obviously I was having a obviously, you guys are too dumb to understand. Obviously, I was having a conversation about how to solve these difficult crimes in a community with no laws and no government. I abide by the laws around these issues. I have no desire to change them in the slightest. Yeah, I mean, you just were talking about your utopia, your fantasy world, your best case scenario. I just feel like this is a conversation that's gonna be very sticky for her. Like, why would you get into a conversation about this given what you're trying to do and what your goals are? I would try to avoid having a hypothetical, pedo sympathizing conversation. I guess if your whole shtick is that you're helping kids or minors. What do I know? I'm just a digital cannibal. Again, don't be mad at the people not covering this issue or not covering it to the extent that is sufficient. Just like, I don't know, focus on people who are covering it. Everyone has their reasons, and there's no sense in prying into everyone's reasons. Oh, shit. Breaking news from Frank. Mark Dice has also entered the ring. What does Mark Dice have to say? See, this is like, don't get upset. If Tim is not covering this episode, if Tim is not covering this issue in a way that makes you happy, don't sweat it because guess what? Someone else will come along, if it's important enough and, you know, we'll cover it. Mark Dice with a satanic amount of followers, 666,000. Media analyst, best-selling author of Hollywood Propaganda: How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture. Okay, this is from Nick, Farmers Only. Mark Dice slaps Tim Cast with reason and logic over his pretzel twist take on Eliza Blue in The Quartering. But we're all obsessed with Tim and not the issues he's dodging. Pure narcissism, free Brittany Venti. And then Mark Dice responds, yeah, this to me looks like, is this a tweet response or is this a YouTube comment? I think it's shoot, I don't know. Can you guys tell what this is, a tweet or a YouTube comment? Tim, with all due respect, we all make mistakes, and the cover up is worse than the crime. Or in this case, the cover up is worse than the mistake. Tim obviously helped boost her profile twice as a return guest, and looks like his ego won't allow him to admit that he got duped by what appears to be a massive grifter who is now abusing the privacy tools on social media to censor those investigating her. This right here, folks, is the fucking issue. Let's not lose sight of this part. She is abusing the privacy tools on social media to censor those investigating her, period. The proper response would be to admit she's censoring people with false privacy claims on Twitter and YouTube, and that something doesn't smell right with her story, and that it should be looked into further. And maybe she duped you. To claim she hired a PR campaign to use trolls to debunk her claims in order to boost her profile is one of the biggest pretzels I've ever seen someone twist. Interesting. I completely agree with him about the core issue here: the abuse of the Twitter privacy rules and the desire to censor someone who is asking questions about your backstory. Cool. All right. Mark Dice. Maybe that's all he'll say about that. Mark Dice is a true warrior, says Fat Sharpton. Yeah, I think it's the most helpful, like, it's okay to criticize someone's take on something without getting personal and saying things you regret. Okay, wow, you guys sent in a lot of super chats. I really appreciate it. I got all wrapped up. So Eliza's gonna distract. She's gonna do anything to make it to keep herself the victim. A lot of flowery language, and she's gonna try to make it about something else. She really does not want to answer the question of why did you censor Brittany Venti on a public music video. At the end of the day, that's kind of all that matters. Her lying about her life, all her name changes, like, yes, that paints a picture of who this person is. And I think that's what happens with people. When we're not getting answers to questions we want, we start just looking because we're just looking for information. It's human nature. And I think that's what's maybe led those of us looking into this story to a place that to other from an outside perspective looks like obsessing or looks like not letting it go or attacking other people who should have covered the story better or sooner. It's like we're just trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Lancer, thanks for the 5. I have a quick build Antifa cell kit they are giving out. Part of their training is to provoke infighting. I promise they made Blue incident worse. Wow. Antifa cell kit. Hmm. No more infighting, guys. Stop giving Tim Pool shit. Honestly, like he's doing fine. Let him cover what he wants to cover. Don't don't obsess about the videos either of Eliza canoodling with Ian or whatever. The hanging out, drinking after the show. We all drink and hang out after the show. Like that's so not what's important. The censorship is what's important. Nebraska because I worry this is taking a toll on Brittany. I mean, I watched her stream last night. She seemed to be like emotionally in a decent place. It's probably got to be hard to go 21 days without having access to your Twitter account, but Brittany's Twitter is doing great by the way. Like she's at over 92K at this point. So she's been steadily ticking up. She's got 92.1K followers. And I remember like last week or 2 weeks ago, like when this was first happening, she hit 88. So she's been she's been gaining. She's been gaining followers. But yeah, I'm sure it's frustrating to be like, well, is there an end in sight here? Am I going to get sued? Am I going to get my account back? Like, what the hell's going to happen? What's up, Amanda? Thanks for the 5. It's not obsession when the main problem has yet to be fixed. Thank you, girl. We just lost focus for a second here. Mark Wilkins, thanks for the 5. If EB is so poor, how is she going to afford attorneys and PR specialists to pull off this caper? Also, attorneys are great people. Yes, they are. I'm guessing you are too by your little, what is that? The scales? Or maybe you're a Libra. Right. Yeah. Either her dad is going to have to float her for all of these lawsuits, or maybe she's getting money from somewhere else. I don't know. Laughing dog. Wow. Thanks for the 50. You know what? If someone sends a $50 super chat or higher, I'm going to play this song. Laughing dog for 50. God bless you for being the voice of reason and calm. And thank God for Candy Girl jumping in. Who's Candy Girl? Word to the wise, country girls are very high skilled. No offense, but city girls are usually outclassed. Okay. Who's Candy Girl? I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a city girl. I'm in there like, but I was raised in a suburb, but I've spent like uh, 20 years, I guess, working in and out of the city. Cool. Thank you, Laughing Dog. 2012 Jameson. Thanks for the super chat. Censorship is truth. Being silenced. Tim is honest. Yeah. I think he was just put in a bad spot. But I mean, it's okay. Like, I hope that when people hear my criticisms of how he covered or didn't cover the story, I don't want that to be equated for, like, personal feelings. Like, I think we can criticize one another without it getting personal, right? I hope so. Patrick T, Tim was covering it. Covering it up! Oh. 2012 Jameson. No, it shows bias and why he is okay with covering it up. Everyone's got their reasons. Mark's Zart for a 5. Is that $15.50 per hour job at the truck stop? But I need to get my sound bar of sound effects up and going. Okay. Tango thinks I'm defending Tim. I'm just really trying to be realistic. You cannot force somebody to cover something they don't want to cover. And you also can't force somebody to cover it the way that you would like it to be covered. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people were getting on Tim's ass because they respect him as a news source and they thought that this was the type of issue that he would care about. But at the end of the day, you can't. And I think that's what upset Tim is he was getting the sense that people were pressuring him. He doesn't want to have to answer to anybody. So he doesn't want to feel like his audience is going to dictate his show or how and when and why he covers certain issues. If you think that's me defending him, okay. But I'm really just trying to understand the position he's in. I don't know him close enough to, like, know where he really stands on it, what is or isn't the truth, you know? Autistic Musings, thanks for the super chat. Kinda annoying when you follow people because they purport themselves to be about free speech and honesty, and they go and do this kinda thing. I understand this feeling, Autistic Musings. I understand where you're at. I think a lot of people are feeling this way. But again, we have no control. You can't make somebody do a thing. Benjamin Mauser for 5. Tim just had Crowder on about the big con and censorship and then ignores when someone in his circle censors people. But you know what? Maybe Venti is not like big, you know what I mean? Like maybe she's not a big enough account to care about. Or maybe she, who knows? Like, would I have covered it if it were a good friend of mine? I would have hoped so, but when it is a friend of yours and someone you've had on a bunch, it's easier to care about it versus if you're not friends with the person, you've never had them on. I think it's probably easier to dismiss. Amanda's back. Thanks, Amanda. Don't get mad at the way people cover things, but do pay attention to the way they change their story when the tide changes. Yep. I think a lot of people have just been hanging on the sidelines waiting to see what other people dig up because this is a dirty, tricky, sticky issue here. This is a sticky ass topic. A lot of people don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, and I get it. Wastelander for a 5. Tim may have a point that this is a planned attack on anti-establishment media. How would that be? They're using Eliza to take down what, like Timcast, Quartering, other YouTube channels. I guess maybe to what make us all look like we're just more invested in drama. I guess that's possible. Like get us to fight amongst ourselves and all the while the real issue doesn't get moved up the ladder. Dirt bike for 10. I don't blame any of y'all for the drama. The reason it's turned into drama is because the original question has gone unanswered. Yes. And that's partly Tim's fault for completely ignoring the censorship issue. Oi. Yeah, I wish we all could have kept it focused on the censorship issue. But, we're human beings. People's emotions get involved. Yeah, I'm annoyed that we all lost focus, but maybe I also lost focus. I don't know. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.